now begin our international speech contest. So I would like to introduce contestant number 1, Dennis Rai, with his speech titled Global Virtual Team. Global Virtual Team, Dennis Rai.
How many of you in your current roles and in your previous roles have dealings with overseas offices and your overseas colleagues? Thank you, majority of us. And that's my today's topic, global virtual teams. Good morning, Toastmasters, fellow members and guests. What is global virtual teams? Geographically dispersed, they are located in different parts of the world. In general, you have a team who is working for the same goal, but for different locations. That's basically the global virtual team. What I'm gonna go through today is few advantages, disadvantages, and conclusion and my own opinion about global virtual teams. In regards to, I will start with disadvantages. So there are a few opportunities with global virtual teams. One of the big problems, so when the global virtual team concept started, probably around mid-1990s, the companies were growing big time with the help of technology, and they started setting the offices around the world. And there were major problems for like big companies like IBM, HP, and one of the main problems was the cultural diversity. It was very difficult for the people to understand different cultures. I was going through one of the examples from few research. There was one Danish company who had outsourced their IT consulting to India. They were working on few projects. They started, like it was just 2 months in the particular project, and the Danish company and the management over there were absolutely getting annoyed with nothing being done from the consulting company based in India. In the end, they decided they're gonna call the entire team from India to Denmark. When the management started explaining them about what is the requirements, the IT firm, the Indian IT firm, they were nodding their hands and saying yes. And just 10 minutes into the conversation, they realized that, hang on, there is something wrong over here. When they are saying yes and they're nodding their head, doesn't mean they're agreeing and understanding whatever our requirements are. So see, that's the culture. So in India, when you are talking to someone, and this is very basic, it's just a part of the acknowledgement. It's a culture. So they will nod their head and say yes. So they're just acknowledging of what they are saying. That doesn't mean that they are agreeing to what you are asking. See, so they straight away found the problem, and then they know how to deal with that Indian IT company. There are quite a lot of those examples. Like in my current role, we are dealing with Japanese a lot. So Japan market is one of the biggest market for Frontera, and they have a really high quality requirements. And we have majority of our complaints, like the product related complaints, comes from Japan. And sometimes when we see those, like there are little scratch on the carton, and they straight away want to reject that entire carton. And we say, oh, the product is fine. There is a little small scratch on the carton. But that's what the high quality requirement is from Japanese customers. And I absolutely support that, because when we are selling our product, we have a really good reputation in the market. We don't want to spoil our reputation with sending those damaged cartons. So it's very important to maintain those high quality, and Japanese customers actually helping us to lift our own standards. So that's really good. So there are those are the disadvantages. The advantages of the global virtual teams is, at the moment, everyone wants to, there's so much of competition, everyone wants to keep their operating costs low. So they can actually set up their transactional customer service kind of roles somewhere in this other part of the world, where they can actually have a little bit of competitive cheap labor. They can have the resource, the billing, which is going to be very much less than any of the developing countries. it is there are quite a lot of, so these are the basic two advantages, but there are lots of advantages. One of the other advantage is you can tap into the global talent. Just imagine if you are running like a Fonterra from Auckland over here, what talent you're going to attract from the proximity of like 30 kilometers area. I don't know if people from Hamilton is going to come to work over here every day. So that's one of the big advantages. Like, you can have a really high good talent, and you can have a really diverse team who can actually toss some good ideas from different parts of the world and come up with a really good solution, which is going to help the company to grow really faster. One of the examples is Amazon. They're growing big time at the moment. Like, they were just initially, when they start up, they were just focusing in US. They grow rapidly. In order for them to grow even 10 times more faster than what they were going in the first 5 years of their operation, they started going globally. And now look at them. They are the #1 company in the world. The CEO of Amazon is sitting on $16 billion of his own net worth. That's crazy amount of money. So in my opinion, definitely global virtual team is the way to go. It's going to help to understand different culture. You can make good social norms, and you can help the company grow, and you can help your own self to grow as an individual. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Could we now have 1 minute of silence while the judges fill out their ballots? I'd now like to welcome up our second contestant, Tendai Masamba, with her speech titled, My Mother, My Hero. Tendai, My Mother, My Hero.
I stand here with pride and great gratitude for a woman who gave up everything, her dreams, the most valuable thing she ever owned, to make my dreams come true. Contest chair, fellow Toast members, and our guests. I will tell you her story. She was born Judith Jireo Masamba, to a father who had 7 wives and 19 children. Her mother would be divorced early, and she struggled to find her own identity in that sea of children. To escape from it all, she would marry early in an effort to recreate a family she didn't have and find happiness. But that was never meant to be. You see, in Africa, you earn your way into that role of a matriarch. She would capture the pain of her early stages in her marriage through the names of her children. Our names tell a story. Names like Hamuniwamu, which means you don't like other people. Tofirei, what am I dying for here? Tofirenyika, for the benefit of everybody else except me. As she grew older, she would build the confidence, and you saw it coming in the defiance. Names like Saruzai, which means you can be selective, but I don't really care. Farisa, you can be happy. And then she would lose a child in between. And then she looked up to the gods and say, remember me, Rangarirai. As if she didn't have enough kids. She was now by child number 10. She would name that one Ingizai, which means add more children. Like her wealth and her happiness were never going to come from material things. It was always going to come from her children. To finish a very long production line, 24 years, she was giving babies.
Wow.
She had twins. She would name one of them Tafadzwa, which means we are happy. And the other one Tendai, which means thank you. My memory of my mother when I was a child, I can see her working all the time. In the fields, working with the animals, or just around the house. She expected the same out of us. Would complain, Mom, this is too much. She would show you her hands. They were dirty, they were hard, and sometimes cracked. And she would say, these have served me well. And indeed, they did. Until the war came and wiped everything. War is a thief. It takes everything. Not just material things, but people as well. She would lose the child through war. And there was a night when we knew she was meant to die that night. But you know when your time is not up, there is nothing a human person can do here. If God has not called you for that day, you'll find a way. You knew from the knock it was government forces by the door. They were going for people whose children had joined the liberation wars, and they would kill the parents. Yeah? As if my sister knew. She goes, Mom, don't answer the call. I'll go outside. She went to the door, diverted them. That night, my mom, my twin sister, father, and I crawled on our hands and legs away from our home. When we were far enough, she turned back and looked at our home and said, this is my home. Where do I go now? For 5 years, we never saw our home. When the war finished, the human capacity to survive and renew is amazing. Like an onion, she grew another layer that was thicker, that was strong, and recommitted to change a generation. My mother can't read. She can't write. All your kids can. She has 4 university graduates. She would sell all her cows. The only thing you get when your child married. That's the most valuable possession an African woman could ever have. Sold them all to give me this life. My mom is now 80. She's fragile. She's old. In the last year again, and alone, she has fallen twice working in the garden. Not because she has to, but because that's all she has ever only known, work. I want to look at her and I say, let me love you. Let me take care of you. Let me repay you. Even